Hi, my name's Alex, and today I'm going to be showing you how to inspect your fifth wheel. The first thing you're going to want to check out is the integrity of the framework. You're going to want to make sure you're not missing any bolts. You want to make sure they're tightened and fastened. You want to check for your slides, make sure there's no damage on your slides. Then you're going to go into checking your feet. The feet to your fifth wheel, attach it to the fifth wheel plate, which attaches to the frame. You'll want to check and make sure you have good pivoting, no binding, cracking. You want to make sure that your holes aren't wallered out. That means your bushings are good. You want to inspect the jaw and make sure that there's no damage to the interior of the jaw. Then you're going to test your lock. To test your lock, you'll use a fifth wheel test pin. You'll slide it up in. You'll slide it up in, make sure it locks. You want to make sure you don't have any play going to and fro. You want to make sure you'll be able to turn your trailer by hooking in your test hook and giving it a wiggle. As you can see, this one's pretty tight. Then you want to make sure that it releases properly. By pulling the handle, it should release and stay released. And the last thing you're going to want to check for is your grease points. Make sure that if they have the grease certs, that they are greasable, they operate. Go ahead and grease it. Alright, so now I'm going to be showing you how the fifth wheel slide lock works. You want to inspect, make sure your locks are into two positions. You want to operate it, make sure it fully retracts. You'll inspect down here to make sure your fifth wheel will actually slide. Then you'll make sure it closes. And when it closes, you want to make sure your teeth come all the way back out and the fifth wheel is completely locked in. Alright, after you check your fifth wheel, you want to check the rest of your coupling devices. The first one is going to be to check your air lines for inspection of the rubbers. You want to inspect the hoses themselves, make sure they're not cracked or kinked. You want to make sure that they're not rubbing on anything. This is some extra securement so that they don't dangle. If it had a catwalk, you want to make sure that it wasn't dragging the catwalk because that'll put a hole in your air lines. You also want to inspect your rubber bushings, make sure they're not cracked or torn, such as this one is. If they are cracked and torn, it's simple to replace. Pop them out, pop a new one in. To test to make sure you have actual air pressure, you're going to need to be able to stop the airflow and have control of it. So you'll want to help to moisten it. And you'll go ahead and release your trailer protection valve. After you release your trailer protection valve, you'll go ahead and make sure you have which you can tell by the whisk that you do. And then you'll go ahead and test your service brake side. As you can see, you've got air coming out of there as well. Then you can go ahead and pop your protection valve off, and you're good to go. Alright, the last thing you're going to want to check on your coupling devices is to make sure you can get power to your trailer. With most tractors, you'll use the 7-pin plug-in. You want to test and make sure that you have power, especially if you don't have a trailer here to just visually inspect with lights. So after looking up your diagram in your service manual, you see that your white is your ground. This one's labeled. You can see here it says white, black, yellow, red, green, brown, and blue in the center. So the first thing you're going to check is the center. That should be your auxiliary. You'll have your voltmeter set up in volts. You got lights on?
I know, right? I'll send you one over.
Without the vehicle running, you're not going to get any results on the auxiliary because that's running off of the ignition switch. The black is your running lights. As you can see, we jumped up to 12.3 volts. Your brown is going to be your clearance lights along the top and the sides. So that's also all the time at 12.3 volts battery voltage. Then you'll have your turn signals on, and you will see a flash of voltage flashing up to 10 volts. And again on the other side, left is yellow, right is green, and you'll see the flash of voltage. Hit the brakes. The red is for your brake lights, and then you are reading battery voltage. Let go of the brakes, and now it's down to nothing, so you're good to go there. Alright, now I'm going to be showing you how to inspect your exhaust system. Relatively easy inspection, but a very important one. First thing you're going to want to note is where your exhaust system starts. You start on the back side of the turbo, going back. This vehicle has a DPF system and an after treatment system, so there's a little bit more to it than just a pipe going up. So the first thing you're going to want to know is that you don't want to have any exhaust leaks forward of the sleeper or cab area. So pretty much from the engine bay back over to where you see your pipe come out the back end of the cab, and make sure you don't have any leaks back there for the security of the cab. If you have an exhaust leak, you could be breathing it in and won't know it, and those sleep won't wake up. So the easiest way to check for an exhaust leak is color or feel. Color, you're going to be looking for a black residue, indicating that exhaust is actually leaking out. It should look rusty where it's steel, and where it's stainless, you should see a good seamless weld. The weld, of course, will rust. If there was any exhaust leaks here, you would actually see a black residue. So you want to make sure all your piping is at least 6 inches away or heat shielded from any electrical wires or fuel supplies. You want to check all your connections. You've got different types of exhaust clamps going. These ones are welded. You've got bolt-on clamps down here. Especially when you see rust, you want to make sure that they're not rusted all the way out and just holding on because of the rust. You also want to check any fabric seals, such as this one, going from your after treatment system. And again, your exhaust clamps. You want to make sure your DPF is securely mounted, and your SCR system is also securely mounted. And then you're just checking your pipe. You'll fire up the engine. And the other way to check for an exhaust leak is to actually feel for one. The only spot you should feel air coming out is from up at the top of the stack. If you can feel it coming out anywhere else, then you have an exhaust leak. So I hope this was helpful, and thank you. That was my inspection.